So we have been in this room for a few hours now, and our brain has been like really activated. So why don't we take a minute for ourselves to actually give a mental break, okay? So let's do this. If you're sitting, leaning back, why don't you sit up a little bit, relax your neck and your shoulders, good, and your arms, right? It's a bit tense here, and your back and your legs, yeah. So we're going to follow 4 simple steps of doing a breathing technique. It's very simple. You're going to breathe in through your nose, hold your breath, breathe out through your mouth, and hold your breath. And we will spend about 2 seconds for each step. Let me show you how. Shall we try it again together? Okay. You can look at my hand to actually give you a signal. Okay. We're going to breathe in together. Great. Continue to do it at your own pace. And close your eye for a minute because, you need to shut down our nervous system a little bit. So, let's do it for 2 more rounds, okay, at your own pace. Shall we try it? Very good. So this technique is called box breathing technique. It is originally used by U.S. Navy SEALs for the frontline responders, like doctors, nurses, soldiers at war. We actually use this technique, and we teach our students, our participants back in Myanmar, as our first responder training, because Myanmar right now is a battlefield. So imagine your everyday life. You wake up, getting ready for work, help your kids to get ready for school, and out of nowhere, there's a bomb blast in your neighborhood. What you can do, just take a shelter under the table, and you make use of these breathing technique to help yourself not being very much impacted by the crisis. It's a coping strategy. So why do we need to do that? Let me go back to 2 years back. Back in 2021 in February, Myanmar went through another military coup. After that, Myanmar started grappling with lots of multiple crises, like political, economic, healthcare, education, and many more, and now refugee crisis as well. So as a coaching and training company, what we need to do, we have a huge community of women and girls that we are serving. So we have to quickly think of us responding training to help women and also the people in the community cope with this. So what we did was a responder program, but we did it very differently. So how we did that is that in Myanmar right now, it's very difficult to go to the remote region to offer your help, and aids are not reaching well enough. So what we have was just online. So we created this program called Psychosocial Responder Program, where we actually do it differently by empowering women and girls in the region to be our champion, and we train them and mentor them to start a community-led initiative to help the community. And the result was really inspiring. And I want to share you a few stories, actually 4 women that I feel really inspire. So this is actually Nanda. She's a 14 years old mobile library entrepreneur. So she already had a network of starting a library for her kids because the school had to shut down in Myanmar. So she started that. But after going through our training, she offered more services like psychosocial support, art therapy, and writing therapy for little kids. And now she has regular sessions where small kids come to talk to her when they are in distress, when they can't really talk to their parents, and some of them actually lose their parents already. So imagine this, when we empower the community leaders to actually be in charge of coming up with a solution, it will blow your mind because these are the things we have never thought of. Actually, she is in a monastery compound where she and her friend co-facilitate these breathing techniques I just showed you to the novice monk and little children. You don't really need a space. You just do it right there when they need it. So this is an inspired story, I see one. Another one, this is May. May had to drop out of school because of the military coup. but she didn't let it stop her. So what she did was she went through a training, and now she is starting a girls-only support group, like these small groups, to actually share them about sexual and reproductive health and rights, which is a very alarming issue that we have to focus on when there is a community crisis, because a lot of girls are at risk of these sexual harassments and violences. So having these groups, it's really help the help can reach to those in need. Because imagine that in a traditional way, what we do is we have a trainer go to the village and host the sessions, and there are lots of barriers, right? We all have been through our teenage year. We don't want to talk about what we're thinking to our parents, right? Let alone a stranger. So this is actually very inspiring for young girls as well. So she has been being a valuable resource for her peers to get the needs that they want. And she is a nurse at a refugee camp. Her name is Pyo. So when Pyo started the training, it was very difficult for her to get the internet connection. So we were like, is there any other way we can do? And what she did was, it's a 10-day training. So she climbed up the mountain every morning just to take the class, and she never missed a single class. And after that, she actually implemented this psychosocial support, which is like mental health sessions while she's treating her patients. The last one, this is also my favorite, and her name is Mamala. She is a mother, and she has been very distressed about being a caregiver in this crisis, caregiver for her children and aging parents. So after going through the training, we actually trained them, not just a mental health topic, but also gender-based violence, sexual identity, and topics like that. So after the training, she became an advocate for domestic violence victims. And she started this Motherhood Connect, which is a support group. She goes around and she holds it at home too. And she was able to connect women who are in danger to the help that they need. So you see, when you actually put women and girls at the center, instead of putting them as a passive recipient of aid, you unlock a lot of great innovative and inclusive solutions. For example, like this, they are the one who understand, they are the expert of the issues and the situation, and they have a great inspiration of how to solve them. And when we come in, we actually need to listen more and support them. Because when we think of these inclusive solutions, they don't leave anyone behind, and it's very inspiring. So next time, when you see issues or a conflict that happens even at home, in your classroom, community, and even workplace, instead of rushing in and stepping in and saying, this is the solution we should do, let's try to listen more. And let's intentionally make space and seek advices from women and girls involved to be the leaders of the transformation. Thank you.